Hello everyone, we are back at it cooking with Grandma Tanner here at Tanner's Orchard. Today she is going to be making baked Tanner's apples. So Grandma Tanner, you can take it away.
Okay, first I'm going to tell you about these apples that you need for baking. I have chose today a Jana Gold, a Golden Delicious, and a Gold Rush. A Gold Rush is a later apple. They just picked them yesterday, I believe. And they're very good keepers. All these apples will hold their shape when they're baked, like whole or in a pie. So the first thing you want to do on this recipe, it says 4 large apples, and they fit right in this little 9x9. And you core them, but it says to core them not all the way through. And if you core them all the way through, then all your goodies will fall out the bottom. So I just keep twisting like this, and pretty soon it breaks. And then
So
it's not all the way through.
You got the seeds out, but left the
Yes.
part at the bottom.
That one turned out perfect.
How many times will that happen?
Yes. So you put them in there. Now the recipe calls for 1/4 cup of sugar, 1/4 of a cup of chopped up pecans I'm using today.
You don't have to peel them?
No, you don't peel them.
Huh. Well, this recipe's getting better and better.
It's easy. And then 1/4 of a cup of raisins, and I've chopped them. So you blend all this stuff together, these 3 items. Mix it all up. And then a teaspoon of cinnamon goes in there. Gives it a nice flavor. So it's not going to go in there, so I'll just dump it in here.
Is that a teaspoon or a tablespoon?
It says TSP. Isn't that teaspoon?
Yeah, it just looked really big.
It does look a little big. I don't think it has to be exactly. And another spice that you could put in here would be nutmeg. Nutmeg would be real good.
What's this, Grandpa Tanner?
Well, my classmates from 60-some years ago, 50-some years ago are coming for coffee and donuts, and one of them brought some flowers for Grandma Tanner.
Oh, isn't that
So,
sweet?
As soon as Grandma Tanner gets done, she can come and join us.
She's got to go
I
join your
will.
class for coffee and donuts,
The
huh?
class of Sparland High School, class of 1962.
Oh my goodness. We're all getting old. So you mix this up real good, and then you spoon it evenly into this little hole, into the apple. Oh, Jenny, I know what I want you to do. Well, I can do it. We have to pour hot water in there, so I'm going to put this in the microwave to boil this, get it boiling. I have preheated my oven to 375. Yeah,
So you're just putting that stuff in there.
right in that little hole.
You got raisins and pecans, sugar, and cinnamon.
Yep. Now another thing that can be done is that water that I'm putting on the bottom, I'm going to pack that in there real good. You can put a little cider in there.
Oh, okay. That'd be good.
Mm-hmm. Tanner cider, I got it right there. So pack this in there real good. But this makes a really nice dessert. And when they come out of the oven, You can put a little bit of, drizzle a little bit of our homemade caramel on there. Maybe I didn't make my holes big enough, but I'm going to dump the rest of this right here in the bottom of this baking dish. Because it says when you are done, usually when they are done baking, that you'll have a little syrupy like stuff in the bottom, and you drizzle that over your apples. Then you could let them cool a little bit and drizzle that caramel on there.
I'll get the water out for you.
Sure.
Ooh, it's hot.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that mug is
Here,
hot.
here's a. Oh, she got it. Boiling water. So, you just pour this in the bottom of this dish, about a half a cup, and that water will help steam those apples. And then the rest of this mixture, I'm just going to put in that, because it'll get kind of syrupy.
So now you can put cider instead of half a cup of water. You can put
a little bit of cider. Now, I have another recipe. I'll pour that into this here since it's hot. Where you can pour just a tiny bit of cider right on top of that mixture. And did you know if you marinate meat or anything in cider, it helps tenderize it?
Probably gives it a good flavor too, especially
it does. Pork. Like on weekends, our Brian Bell does those cider brats where he grills them and then marinates them in cider.
That's right. He holds them in the cider after he grills them.
And they are so good and so tender. So that's all we're need to do today. I've got
one cooked?
No, I do not have any cooked. 2 Jana Gold, a Golden Delicious, and a Gold Rush. So these will bake at 375 for about 30 to 40 minutes. You don't want them to collapse, but you can stick a fork in them or a knife to see if they're tender.
You just want them soft.
Just soft.
Okay.
And then it's just a real easy dessert recipe.
All right. They
could be baking while you're eating, or you can put them in right before you start eating and have them all done.
All right. Well, that was easy. Baked Tanner's apples. I think the hardest thing was probably coring them.
That was. And the recipe is in our cookbook, which we're running a special right now. Our daughter-in-law, Jill Tanner, created this cookbook and came up with all these recipes. So it's a real nice little book.
She put all your recipes from last year in it.
Yes.
So we've been asking Grandma and Grandpa some different questions. Last week, I think we asked, what did we ask? What your first job was?
My first job.
Now, I remember we talked to Grandpa Tanner about asparagus, but one of the worst memories, not really, but one of my many I hope we never have to do it again jobs is picking statice. So how did you come up with that idea of doing the flowers? Because we dried them and made bouquets.
Well, many years ago, the dried flowers were very popular. So we just planted a few in the garden, and it just kind of grew from there, and pretty soon we had like 1/4 of an acre of statice, and all these different colors, and it was like a summer job, picking all that statice, drying it upstairs where we have the gifts now. We put nails on the rafters and hung it, and then we wrapped it in tissue paper. And we used to take it to the farmer's market at Metro. And Jenny was just a little girl, but she had a straw hat, and I glued all that status all the way around that straw hat. And these ladies would say, I just looked for the little girl with a straw hat and all the status, and they would just buy bundles of that. I think we sold it for $2.50 a bundle.
And so I know growing up over the years, we've done a lot of floral stuff. We've done status and other things we dried. We've done nut wreaths. We made floral wreaths out of dried things. We do mums now. Why were you always so into flowers?
Well, when I was very young and in 4-H, my mother took me over to Yorty's Turkey Farm, and Elsie Yorty taught me how to arrange flowers. And Mom was there with me always, and so she learned right along with me. And then we started entering the fair, and I started after I got married. Well, even before I was married, I would go over there. When I was a nurse in Peoria, I would go over there on Saturdays and help her teach the young 4-H girls flower arranging.
And then great grandma Wiegand did wedding flowers too, didn't she?
She did wedding flowers and wedding dresses and bridesmaids. And so then it led to us growing a lot of different kind of cut flowers. And when Jenny was in 4-H and in high school FFA, we started selling garden flowers to the florist. And she had her favorite little red station wagon, little Ford station
The
wagon.
Rosemobile.
The Rosemobile, which she said, I am not driving that station wagon. But
Ended
then
up-
all of
ended
our
up-
friends,
Ended up being my favorite car, and some of my friends, they liked it so much they bought it.
yeah. And so she hauled those flowers into Peoria, and it was a very good summer job, earning a lot of money. And so that's kind of how that all ended up.
So now we don't do very many flowers anymore. They've gone kind of out a little bit, but they're coming back. But so that's a little background on Grandma Tanner. She's always been into flowers, and she still has her flower vegetable bed at the house. So
Yes, and all the plants around the waterfall and on the north side of the restrooms there in the garden room, I grow all those
yep,
coleus.
she does all the pots around and the flower beds. So all right, well, that was a little history, and learned how to make baked Tanner's apples. They look delicious. I can't wait till they're done. So thanks for watching, everybody.